Good morning. Welcome to February 19th, daily devotional, 6 a.m. Pacific time. And the recording is available for you to join at any time at your convenience. Thank you for joining us, and I love to hear where you're joining us from. I'm Edward Fillion from Centers for Spiritual Living, using 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily wisdom from Ernest Holmes, the founder of our movement, and Science of Mind being the name of our teaching. One of the spiritual practices of our teaching is contemplation, a form of meditation in which we dwell upon the words of something inspirational, work it out with ourselves, and then sit in a moment of affirmative prayer or positively framed meditation. We call our affirmative prayer spiritual mind treatment. I have a commitment to be here every morning, and I love that you are joining and traveling with me. On the 19th, the title of our contemplation is "The Divine Presence Within Me is My Authority." And then there is a quote from Isaiah 26:3, "Thou wilt keep those in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you." So it's a that particular part in Isaiah is like one of the Psalms. It's a song of praise, and there is a line in there that says, "Lord God," um, something like, "We have been ruled by other lords, but our mind is stayed on you, the divine presence." So that's where the idea of the title comes. That's my authority. That's what governs and guides me. The living Spirit Almighty. So in our tradition, then it becomes very important to explore and discover and dwell upon the nature of this divine, the creative mind, the presence, the living Spirit, call it what you will, the ground of all being, so that through that exploration of the divine, I might become more and more familiar with it as something that is part of my expression of who I am, that I am part of it, its creative power and ability, so that I can then determine what is mine to do in the world and keep that doing in harmony with the divine presence. So there it is. Let's hear what the words say today. The divine presence within each of us is both the center and the circumference of our real being. So there's nowhere to go that you and I can be away from it. It is the infinite presence that inhabits eternity. That's such a poetic phrase. Dr. Holmes is fond of using it in one of his meditations. He says, "O thou who dost inhabit eternity." I remember once I was speaking and I used that phrase, and the interpreter looked at me and said, "Sometimes I just don't know what the words mean." And we had a talk about it. What does it mean, thou who dost inhabit eternity? And to me, it means the presence that is alive but forever. As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. In its original state, always, everywhere, all the time. My center and my circumference. We recognize it as the only authority there is. And do not be mistaken, we still have to follow the laws of society. This authority of the living Spirit in us will help us to maintain our sense of integrity, so that whatever laws might be in the world, we do have to still make sure we measure our participation in the world by what is alive in us. Even how we vote must come from our spiritual awareness. Even how we spend our money ought to, right? So it's quite an invitation to let the living Spirit be the only authority. Our own consciousness is the very depth and height of its being, and is one with all that it is. There is an infinite self-knowingness which we call the Spirit. It is ruled by law and impelled by love. Each of us is an individual center in it, without being an individual separate from it. We are rooted in the One, which produces limitless variety. Therefore, the divine is uniquely individual and uniquely personal to each one of us. This contemplation of oneness is the sort of thing that can make a person just stop using words and just sit in the flow of thought of what it means to be one of the divine. And how does that impact my relationship with you, or the world, or the planet? Let us keep our thoughts turned to the divine presence within and within one another, deeply desiring that we become more aware of the love that we have for one another and the world. May our consciousness be open to a deeper understanding of life. In the beauty and the quiet of this moment, I commune with the divine presence. The certainty of love and friendship flows into my consciousness, and I feel a deep peace. So let us use those words again in our prayer together. There is only one life. That life is the divine. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. It is the only authority from which I live. In other words, I realize today through this moment of affirmative knowing that my life depends on no externals, in the sense that I draw my awareness, my creativity, my solutions from that which dwells within me and not that which is around me. And though I am in the world and learning its ways and paying attention, I let myself stay rooted in the divine presence, so that it in me stays a very real awareness, like a close friend within, like a presence in which I am communing. I am one of the divine, as is each person and each being I encounter in the world today. And so, as mysterious and large as this idea is, and though my intellect may not fully know how to relate to it, I sense that it within me, the living spirit, is what is doing the moving and the being and the creating. And so I dwell in the awareness of oneness, not knowing how this awareness of oneness will demonstrate itself through me and for me and to me today. I am filled with a sense of awe and wonder and excitement about what will become the reality from this moment of time. And I give thanks that something is in motion now, and I let it be. And so it is. I said I was going to use these words and then I forgot. So I will read them again to wrap up our time. In the beauty and quiet of this moment, I commune with the divine presence. The certainty of love and friendship flows into my consciousness, and I feel a deep peace. And that is a wonderful note to end on. Have a blessed day, and thank you for all the notes, and thank you for letting me know how this practice is impacting your life, what good is coming of it. I love hearing the stories, and I particularly enjoy hearing from people who tell me their children or their siblings or their spouses are now joining with them in the morning, a moment of sitting together. What a beautiful thing. So do keep those comments and messages coming my way. I love it. And thank you again for sharing it. My blessings to you.